Zon!
Yeah!
Zon!
Yeah!
Zon kama miao.
Miao.
Ale ya miao mana.
Yeah.
Teni yao.
Miao.
Aniwete ya mao. Umo buafa. Asawana. The press briefing by the Joy Youth Council, IYC Worldwide, held in Forcados community during the Kingdom, Brutu local government area, Delta State, Nigeria. Revive Forcados now. IYC urges President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to save Nigeria's historic colonial town from vanishing from the face of the earth. Monday, 20th July 2026. The Joy Youth Council IYC Worldwide calls on federal government of Nigeria under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to urgently revive Forcados community in the Duini Kingdom, Brutu local government area of Delta State, in recognition of its immense historical, administrative and economic contribution to the evolution of Nigeria. Forcados is not an ordinary riverine settlement. Long before 1914 amalgamation, it stood as one of the foremost colonial administrative and commercial centers in southern Nigeria, connecting the Niger Delta with Europe and the wider Atlantic world through maritime trade and governance. The history of Nigeria colonial development cannot be fully told without mentioning Forcados. The community served as an important gateway through which European commerce, administration and maritime activities expanded across southern Nigeria and the Gulf of Guinea. Aizon!
Yeah!
Yeah! Historical accounts associated with the community indicate that the Portuguese constructed the Forcados windmill in 1472, making it one of the earliest surviving symbols of European engineering in present-day Nigeria. The same year, 1472, the Portuguese also built the famous Forcados slave wharf, regarded as one of the longest slave wharves in Africa. The wharf was renovated by the Royal Niger Company in 1886, reaffirming Forcados' importance as a major maritime gateway in British West Africa. In 1475, the Portuguese established a slave dungeon in Forcados, linking the community to history of the transatlantic slave trade. Though painful, this remains an important part of African and global history that deserves preservation. Recognizing the strategic importance of the settlement, the Portuguese constructed the Forcados seawall in 1616, one of the oldest shoreline protection structures in West Africa. Today, its collapse has exposed the community to devastating coastal erosion, threatening homes and priceless historical monuments like what we have seen here today. The arrival of the Royal Niger Company further transformed Forcados into a leading colonial administrative and maritime center. In 1887, warehouses, dockyards, administrative offices, and a prison were established, strengthening its role in commerce and governance across southern Nigeria. Forcados remains without adequate infrastructure, quality health care, potable water, reliable electricity, and effective shoreline protection. The Joy Youth Council IYC Worldwide considers this neglect unacceptable. Nations that value their history, preserve communities that share their development. Forcados deserves to be recognized and protected as a national heritage community.
So in essence, what we have said so far, the thematic preoccupation of today's press briefing by the Joy Youth Council is a call to the federal government of Nigeria, headed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he has an opportunity to write his name in gold. The IYC is calling on him and his government to critically look into the story of Forcados. Today, sometimes that's why most times the job people would want to say that if Forcados as it is today, Forcados in terms of prominence is only comparable to Calabar, Lagos, and Abuja by virtue of its contribution towards the growth and development of Nigeria. Today, we are in Forcados live. The Joy Youth Council IYC worldwide is in Forcados live, and what we have seen here on ground is a very sad episode. That a once booming community, a community that have contributed towards the growth and development of Nigeria, that played a pivotal role in the pre-colonial Nigeria before even the amalgamation of Nigeria as a country, has been reduced to the very sorry state that it is today. Today, Forcados has been overtaken by overgrown weeds, reptiles, and other dangerous animals have now become the active inhabitants of this once booming community. The call to the federal government is not just to revive Forcados, but to reserve and preserve the historical monuments that Forcados have before the entire world. Today, we begin to talk about the slave trade era. We have monuments and structures that are here in Forcados. Is it about the infectious disease center that is now the general hospital in Forcados? We are not just calling on just the federal government, but then the Delta state government headed by Governor Sheriff Oborore should also do something reasonable for the people of Forcados community, because development is not a one-sided thing. Everybody must have to contribute. We are not only calling on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but then even the international community should begin to look into the story of Forcados so that we begin to preserve these very rare monuments. Now look at Forcados as it is today. Forcados is at the brink of going into extinction. It's at the brink of going into oblivion. Forcados may vanish if the federal government do not do something about it.